scribe, we chalk, with truth, we grip life, we go survive. I got my eyes wide open. Hey, happy Monday, y'all. Don't depend on man. Keep it real and you know it. Keep your eyes on it. Yeah. We talking about General Motors. I was just vibing to my song. I hope y'all can hear it. Um, General Motors done let off 1,000 people unexpectedly, y'all. And guess why they did it? They replaced them with robots. 1,000 workers lost their job because of robots. And that's messed up. We go get into it. Let's talk about it today. Let's play these clips, y'all, because it's always something. I tell y'all, keep y'all eyes open and keep your money and your eyes on the prize.
What is going on with GM? Seriously, just got the news that they're laying off 500 to 600 people today in terms of IT workers globally. There's a bunch in Michigan. They're not detailing how many. This is in addition to the 600 layoffs just from the Warren Tech Center last year. I would love to know what the GM playbook is. In addition to these layoffs, your head of growth, who is your CMO, left after 3 years. Companies have to iterate. Companies go through phases. I completely understand that. But as a Chevy driver, a Chevy EV driver, I just don't know how much longer I want to stick with the brand because I'm having a hard time figuring out what y'all are doing. From the way that you have management reporting to a president and not the CEO, stock buybacks, IT redundancy. What exactly is the redundancy? Is it AI? Can you say it's AI? You've got a bunch of AI folks in Mountain View, so they're doing the thing. Help us understand. And if you were let go today, I am so sorry. If you know someone let go by these GM layoffs, but this is just becoming a little crazy. I mean, Ford, Slate, take a look at their playbook. Maybe you are, I don't know, but it's just as a GM baby, it's been in my family for years. This is becoming really, really hard to swallow. So, Mary Barra, please tell us what your plan is. That would be great.
General Motors cut more than 1,000 workers at its Factory Zero plant in Detroit and replaced them
with robots.
50 robots. Shit you not, as if we didn't already see this coming. As you can see, General Motors has gutted its electric vehicle ambitions and killed more than 1,000 jobs at its flagship Detroit assembly plant, replacing those workers with 50 robots and sparking outrage from labor unions. The replacement, collaborative robots or cobots, have been installed in the assembly line at GM's Factory Zero plant in Michigan amid a sharply reduced demand for its EV models and the ensuing push to cut costs, reports said. But to be fair, like it says here, General Motors was never subtle about the direction of travel. At its GM Forward event in late 2025, Barra and her senior team spent considerable time outlining how AI and automation would shape manufacturing.
Right. And when y'all seen them talking that, you should have left then, started a plan to leave, because you know what time it is. Now, let's not forget, UPS did that too. Now, what's going to stop them from going 80-20, 80% robots, 20% people? It's no different from Walmart taking all the cashiers and getting rid of them and have one lady over 12 registers. They ain't showing no love. These companies don't care.
Going forward, earlier that year, when announcing a tie-up with NVIDIA to develop factory robotics, Barra said AI not only optimizes manufacturing processes and accelerates virtual testing, but also helps us build smarter vehicles while empowering our workforce to focus on craftsmanship. Oh, but like it says here, GM is hardly alone, as Toyota signed a commercial deal earlier this year to deploy humanoid digit robots at its RAV4 plant in Ontario, the first such development at a major automaker's facility. BMW is expanding its humanoid robot pilot from South Carolina to its Leipzig factory in Germany. The automaker insists the cobots are necessary at the truck plant to stay competitive while improving safety and ergonomics for the workers, according to Crane's Detroit business. Crane's reported that the number of labor hours required to produce a car has declined 50% to 70% since the 1980s, but that hasn't stopped UAW wages, like it says here, from going up. The union was able to make historic wage gains in 2023, and the union will likely seek stronger protections in its upcoming 2028 contract negotiations.
Somebody said in the comment, can you talk about Ford and GM trying to pass a law of not fixing your car? What? And somebody also said AI is also trying to take over creators. I've seen several having issues, so expect that to come soon too. Wow, it's a lot going on.
In response to GM's heavy automation push at cobot installation, though, UAW President Sean Fain said workers are in a fight for humanity, saying, and if AI continues to be used as an accessory to that crime, it has to be stopped. It doesn't have to be this way, and in just society, when workers create more value, they see more of the benefit. In the first quarter of 2026, GM reported $4.25 billion in profits, up 22% from the same period the previous year. So why the fuck are they introducing these cobots to begin with? It's very clear what's happening here because we've seen it in so many shows and movies, but still, people will find a way to support it. It's almost like they told you that it was going to happen. Welcome to the motherfucking future, people.
Yeah.
GM, General Motors.
Yep, that's the future, y'all. And just like they told y'all, robots is gonna take over the jobs, and everybody thought they was playing. Baby, it will be slow, and when they done doing it all, you will see the change is big and wide.
Has laid off more than 1,000 workers and instead has added 50 robots at their flagship Detroit plant. And the people are all saying, we are disgusted. Now, I had a long conversation with my girlfriend, who is a real techie, and she said she worries. The Teamsters are very unhappy. The Teamsters are furious. And of course, they want their people working. I mean, that's what they do. But the companies have to show bottom line to the stockholders, to the shareholders. They have to show profit. And yet, 1,000 people are out. So my girlfriend and I were talking about this. We had a long conversation about it. And her concern is how is the universe, the world, providing for the thousands and thousands more of the workers who have been let go? How? Remember, we did a podcast talking about the graduation ceremonies and how every time one of the speakers mentioned AI, boo from the students. I don't know why they were booing, because that's new things coming their way. But I did remember in the past when I went to school. When I went to school, beyond when I went to school, people were saying, you know what's big now? When social media just came into phase, people were saying social media is the way to go. And various universities were having students major in social media things. So the universities were preparing the students for tomorrow. But today, nobody is preparing anybody. What happens to those 1,000 people who are laid off?
Right.
Where do they go?
Right. That's what happens to you. You end up getting laid off. You lose your job. And it's like, where do you go next? It's all of a sudden. And it's like, what happens after that? Because if one of those persons that was let off was the main income of the house, then what does that mean? Because right now we already know it's hard to find a job in the job market. And that's the games that they play with people. You got to have some money saved up for when this kind of stuff go down and you're not caught like a deer in headlights looking crazy. Make sure your bills ain't up and expensive going all over your head. You don't need nothing or no bills that's so high. If you cough and crack your back, you out of it. You out of commission. You got to be careful because the middle class and people in general right now is taking the punch. And y'all seen that they was talking about the AI situation for a while. You guys should have been prepared the best way you can. And if my job started talking about a whole bunch of robots, I'm gonna start putting in some applications somewhere else. Excuse me, because I know. Wow.
This is a crisis that is hitting. And my friend and I talked about that. I probably didn't have as much sensitivity to the laid off workers as my friend did because she asked, what happens next? What happens to those thousands and thousands of workers who have nowhere to go and don't have skills to go anywhere else?
Yeah.
My point to her, and she said, yes, I hear you, and you are right. But she is right also. My point to her was that when we went to school, we found out this is a hot topic to be involved with. This is a great skill to learn and to be employed with years later. And so you worked hard, you learned that skill, or you went into whatever it was that you figured would gain you competency in an area that was hot at the time. But today, how do you go into hot with robots who are outside your realm unless you start to learn how robots and robotics works? If you see handwriting on the wall, it would be wise to start investigating that as a future for yourself. Today's kids are not taught to be inventive and entrepreneur.
And have different skills to help you. You want to have different skills under your belt, different experiences. So if you have to switch jobs, you are potentially a candidate because you have those skills. Like say you had some kind of warehouse work under your name. You've done that before. You had some kind of food prep under your name. All of it helps when looking for a job because a lot of time they like to pick people that already know. And sometimes they pick the new people who don't know nothing and they'll train you, but they do like people who've been in that field again in case they need somebody fast learning what the operation is like. So have a lot of skills under your belt. Don't just have one, and damn sure don't just depend on one thing because you never know what might happen. Okay. I feel very, very sad for the people who lost their job. At General Motors, 1,000 people let go. What are they to do? It's hard to find a job out here. People are looking. I've made videos where people been looking for a year, 2 years for a job, still haven't found one. So what is it that you do if you're in that situation dealing with this economy? It's already hard out here. General Motors lays off 1,000 and it's already hard out here on these streets trying to survive, make it every day for the average American. Everything is up. Inflation, cost is high, rent is high, gas is high, food is extremely high. And this is what people are dealing with. Let me know what y'all think down there in the comments. Tell me about it. If you're new here, thank you for watching The Southern Economist, where the truth don't get sugarcoated. Surprise.